all the way between now and November 6th to make sure that we flip this seat and we get Gil on the Hill. This is exactly what it looks like. We have a lot of special guests here today. I'm going to have our first speaker come over here. Our first speaker is actually my assemblywoman here. Been a long-time community advocate here, long-time supporter here. Assemblywoman Sharon Silva.
Orange County, are we changing or not? Days of the summer, such a great turnout for Gil, and that Gil decided to run, and that we've got so many great candidates for this seat. That just shows that there are people that are stepping up, that are leaning in, leaning out. We are waking up in North Orange County, and the situation now is we have to. We can no longer stay quiet. We can no longer let somebody else step up. We have to do it. And as I see Gil and his young family, his little twins that just told me that they're both 4, but they're not identical. And, you know, this is what we are doing this work for. It's their future. And I know that Gil believes in education, investing in education. And without that type of future, we're not going to have not only the California we want, but the country we want. Right. So with that, I'm going to keep it short. It's going to take all of us to keep the change happening in Orange County. We want you not only to vote up the ballot, down the ballot. Right. We want you to know your districts, because now we have district elections. We have many, many young candidates that are stepping up, that are wanting to run, and it's up to you to really research your neighborhood to find out who's running in your district and make sure that they're running for the right reasons and they have the values that we believe are important. Investing in education, making sure that what is happening at our border is not a policy that we support. We cannot separate babies and toddlers and children from their parents. Making sure that we support business, but not at the expense of the worker. So there's a lot of issues for us to fight for health care and other issues. And with Gil making his way to the Capitol, we know that we're going to have somebody that we can depend on. This area has been too quiet for too long. One of the few people who know who his opponent is. I've had the wonderful opportunity to run against her twice, and she can be beaten. Yeah. She will be well funded, she will be organized, and I guarantee if things don't go her way, they will misspeak the truth. So it is up to us to tell the truth. It is up to us to make sure that we're there. So when people say, well, she's been a businesswoman. No, she has not. Make sure that we know the facts and we use them. So I'm going to invite up our next speaker. And this is someone I've had have had the honor to work with in Sacramento. He's been leading the state of California as the Speaker Pro Tem Emeritus. And this is Senator Kevin De Leon. Have a race. I'm running to be re-elected. I'm going to let him tell you what he's been working for and what he's been up and down the coast and inland and all over California fighting for. Our Senator Kevin De Leon.
Orange County Democrats, how are we feeling today? How are we feeling today? I want to give up the amazing colleague of mine in the Assembly, Sharon Silva. I know that she works hard for each and every one of you. She has the courage of her convictions. to do the right thing and move the policies that actually, I'm looking at a lot of purple shirts, and I know everyone, a lot of good folks here from SCIU. Orange County is no longer red. We know it's orange, and we're going to help it turn blue. We thank Sharon Cortilla for helping us make that happen. I want to say a couple things, because we got some great folks here today. We're going to speak about an incredible candidate, an incredible leader for Orange County. But we know that these are very difficult times for all of us, not just in Orange County, but throughout the state of California, throughout the entire nation. These are very tough times for this country. I think a lot of folks will agree with me that President Trump makes Richard Nixon look like a choir boy in comparison. Watergate and all that is child's play in comparison to the thievery that's taking place today in Washington, D.C. But this is the time, Democrats, that we stand up for each other, and we back each other up, and we're there for each other. We're not going to allow one electoral aberration reverse generations of progress at the height of our historic diversity, our scientific advancement, our economic output, and our sense of global responsibility, not in a great state like California. That's why it is absolutely critical that we remain America's exceptional example, a beacon of hope and opportunity in a very uncertain world. That's why we need leaders like Gil Cisneros to lead the charge here in Orange County, to represent you federally at the highest level, to make sure that every individual, regardless of who you are and where you come from, regardless of the hue of your skin, regardless of who you love and which God you pray to, has an equal shot at the American dream right here in Orange County. Gil Cisneros, the child of a Vietnam vet who suffered from Agent Orange, that horrific disease. A young man, the child of a public school cafeteria worker, is working class as it gets in a great state like California. An individual believes strongly in giving back to our community, as he has demonstrated with investments through all the educational foundations, giving young boys and girls, young men and women, a real opportunity to succeed and to go on to higher education. Many of these young children, many of these young teenagers, whose parents did not even graduate from high school themselves. Someone like me, the youngest child of a single immigrant mother with a third-grade education. The belief in doing everything within his power to making sure men and women who put their lives on the line, who come back to America, who suffer as a result of serving the greatest country on planet Earth, that they don't have to live homeless. They shouldn't be living homeless in the greatest state and the greatest country in the world. Standing up for veterans. Standing up for more resources for education. Because guess what? You may not know this, but at the congressional level, because of lack of the courage of their own conviction, as well as the executive branch, at the national level, the investments they make in our K-12 public school system, as well as our community colleges, as well as our four-year universities, public as well as private, nonprofit, is a paltry sum of money. We're the greatest country on planet Earth because we invest in the human capital. That is all of us. Every child under the sun, the children of God, regardless of the hue of their skin, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their legal status. Because I know that Orange County believes in family values, don't we? Yeah! I want to say, does Orange County believe in family values? Yeah! Does Orange County believe in Gil Cisneros? Yeah! That's why Orange County believes that no federal government should ever separate innocent mothers from their children and children from their fathers. Not in the not in Orange County. That's why we need strong leadership. That blue wave that's going to turn California upside down. There's no other state in the union that has more flippable congressional seats in the country. Not Alabama, not Texas, not Louisiana, not North Dakota, right here in California. And it starts with Orange County. we send a strong voice that works for each and every one of you. With your assembly member here, Sharon Quirk-Silva, with your congressional member that's just down the road over the 909 and 951, Norma Torres. Let's make sure we send this man to be your voice for access to quality health care for all. Your voice for someone who's going to fight for more educational dollars, K through 12, higher education, community college, as well as child care. Making sure we send someone to Washington, D.C. that's going to fight for sensible immigration reforms for families that have been here 10, 15, 20, 25 years, families who have paid their taxes, who obey our laws, who pledge their allegiance to the red, white, and blue. Those are the true American citizens who get to be able to normalize their legal status because you have members of Congress who've lacked the leadership and the courage, once again, of their convictions to do the right thing. That's why this race is so critical. That's why we need to walk, we need to talk, we need to engage, we need to get all Democrats, all declining states, and guess what? I would assume there's even Republicans out there who are going to give this man a second look and say, you know what? Whether you voted for Bernie Sanders, whether you voted for Hillary Clinton, whether you voted for Mitt Romney, whomever you vote on the Republican side, this is a guy that's going to give you a fair shake and make sure it's about equality and opportunity for all. With that, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much. I got the honor to present one of my former colleagues, a woman who I spent time with together in the Senate as well as the California State Assembly. In fact, folks may not know that I ran for Speaker in the California State Assembly. And came up a wee bit short, like a couple votes. But it's about determination and resiliency. And I know that this woman was a strong supporter of mine since day one. She was one of my votes. And she stood there strong and tall with me. And then we both went to the California State Senate, your state Senate. And I ran for the leadership to become your leader of the California State Senate. First person of color of more than 133 years. This woman right here, just like the days of the assembly, in the trenches with me, never went back, and she was strong there with me. And she left the California State Senate to go on to Washington, D.C. to be a strong voice, a member of Congress. She's going to be that voice for each and every one of you. She always has been. And when Gil gets to Washington, these two, I have no doubt, are going to work in a tandem together to make sure we move the politics and move the human condition. She's a voice, she's a fighter, she's a champion for the working class. Let's bring up the queen of the 909 and 951, Congresswoman Norma Torres.
Democrats. With you. You know, the one thing I think that Kevin, Senator De Leon, didn't mention to you is that when we were in the assembly together, we faced a wall of debt that had been created by the people that were serving there before us, and that we had to answer to, and that we had to figure out how to pay our bills. The state bill, because guess what? During that time, for about 6-7 months, nobody was getting paid. Not the small businesses that were doing business with the state, not the large enterprises, not the state workers, and not even us. As a matter of fact, Kevin and I were among the rank of members that had to take out a personal loan from the bank just to make our mortgages every month during that time. Because you know what? We don't come from money. We are people that come from humble beginnings, and we don't forget where we come from. And that's the kind of person that you want to stand to Congress. I could have stayed in the state Senate and spent 8 years there. It would have been great 8 years serving on any committee that I wanted to with Kevin De Leon as the leader. And we would have been doing really great things as they have been doing until now. But you know what? There is a challenge. And there is a deficit of moral values currently voice in Congress. A justice of all values. And yet, you would think that the party that has prided themselves in being the most fiscally conservative people are now spending like wild drunks. Spending. But are they spending on people like you?
No.
No, they're not. They're not. You know who they're spending on? They are charging and putting the future of our children and grandchildren at risk because they have continued to support the wealthiest people in this nation. Number one, the tax scam that they passed. They went straight after California, ensuring that as we continue to support education, roads, and all the things that we pay taxes on, that we would not be able to use that as a write-off. All right? That was a straight attack on Californians. Straight attack on Californians. And you know what? Some of my seniors say, you know, Congresswoman, I got an extra $30, you know, and it's $30 is money. And I say it is real money. But is it worth you losing Social Security or Medicare in the near future? No. Because that's what they're going after. Because that is the pay for all of this. That is the pay for. Let's not even begin talking about the Affordable Care Act. Is it perfect? Maybe it isn't perfect, but it's not perfect because of them, because they blocked every effort of Democrats. And at that time, we wanted to work with them. Not we, because I wasn't there. You know, like I told Jerry Brown very early on, stop playing kumbaya with Republicans. They're never going to work with you. All they want is want, and they don't produce anything. Stop it. You know, the last 2 years they've been in office to try and learn. But anyway, this is what you need to go out there and talk to Orange County voters about. This is what they care about. They care about their future. They care about the future of their kids. They care about good schools. They care about the people that they're seeing, their former neighbors now homeless on the street. They care about the veterans that come home and have no real services afforded to them because, you know, we keep putting them through, you got to go through this bureaucracy and that bureaucracy and that bureaucracy until finally they get fed up and they give up. We need to stop that. And the only way that we can stop that is if we take the majority back. And the only way we're going to do that is by electing folks like Gil. Gil is a proven leader. What will you do if you won the lottery? What will you do? You know, I think about that, right? You know, there's a couple of organizations that I really like, you know, and I probably give them money, but what would you do? You go around the world on a vacation, a lifetime vacation? Maybe. I mean, it's pretty tempting, right? But people like Gil could have done that, but instead, he decided to come back right here and to invest in the future of the students and the future college students. You know, on a world vacation, I never came back. He's been right here in your backyard. When his call to duty came by way of the U.S. Navy, he stepped up. He stepped up. And he served this country honorably for 10 years. Can the president say that? No. Can any of his children say that?
No.
Where's mom and dad? Cisneros.
Over there. Dad.
Dad is over there. You know what? They're here. They're here because they believe that their son will continue to work and push forward to ensure that people like them have a future in this country. That's why they're here. Russia, is getting in the way of a lot of things. A lot of things. And be careful. Be careful because their trolls are vicious and their trolls are everywhere. And just like they influenced the last election to ensure that they had a candidate of their choice, they will continue to do that. So it's up to you to push back. You can't stay home. You can't afford to stay home.
That's right.
You've seen what's happening. You've seen what's happening at the border. That's just the beginning. Do you know that they're going after every naturalized citizen, going through a process of reviewing citizen applications? That's people like me, right? That's people, you know, like our neighbors, right? This is what they're about. Family values, it's about the mighty dollar. The family values that we care about is right here in front of us. Standing right here, ready to take his place in Congress. And I hope that you will help I have a leadership hat, and I brought Gail this chat, and I worked really hard. You know how hard it is to work to get money in Congress. Because it has to come out of your pocket. We can't go and ask, you know, corporate for money. But Republicans have been doing it through super PACs, right? It's the super PACs that you have to be careful about. So when you give whatever you can afford, $5, $20, $25, $1,000, whatever it is that you can afford, know that it's going for a good cause. Because we need to ensure that we elect Democrats now, and in 2 years to take the presidency back. Thank you all. A man who has served the state of California through the thick and thin, through very difficult times in our state. He's now our treasurer in California. So that means that he's watching out for our money, right? Ensuring that interest rates on every dollar that we're borrowing are the best that he could possibly get for us. And I couldn't trust anyone more than John Chang for that.
Are you ready to win? Yeah! Ready to win? Yeah! Ready to win? Yeah! I need this energy and passion. I think we've had some extraordinary speakers have made the case crystal clear, but I want us to think about it in this context. What kind of future do you want for yourself and your family? Do we want more of an America led by President Trump? Or do we want an America led by all of us? We have unquestionably a candidate who's extraordinarily talented, who has a vision that's inclusive, one that represents Orange County. And I can't tell you, as the southernmost constitutional elected official in the state of California, how important it is that we start winning these seats in Orange County. Because you need somebody on the ground who understands the fight. You need somebody who's going to articulate back in Washington, D.C., amongst his or her colleagues, what your passions are, what your vision is, what your lifestyle is, and what is required. Norma and Kevin referenced it. We've made extraordinary progress. This is my 20th year in a financial office in the state of California. I sell the state's debt. I invest and build more affordable housing. And we have a White House that is trying to clip our wing on every single, let me say it again, every single important issue that impacts every single Californian. As Norma mentioned, we have Robin Hood back in Washington, D.C., taking money out of the pockets of the working class to give it to the wealthy. Whether it's the oil companies, whether it's foreign entities, whether it's the top 1%. That's why we need to elect Gil. We need somebody with sensibility on, despite the fact the progress we've made, how hard it is. We have a president, as Kevin mentioned, who's trying to clip the wings on access to education, taking back funding for research and development. If America's going to continue to provide the world leadership, if we're going to bring the world-class jobs, if we're going to expand the opportunities, you do it because California has 11 of the top 100 universities on this planet. But as we know, they're in jeopardy. They're in jeopardy. Norma, Kevin, Sharon, and I fought through a recession, and it was difficult. We know that there was a lot of cost shifting, unfortunately and tragically, and we need to fix that. We increased tuition, I didn't, and fees on UC and Cal State students by over 113%. When you look at the median price of a house in California, anybody have a sense? About $500,000. If you're a student who graduates from UC on average, you have a $19,000 debt. You get a job on average that makes $35,000. You're trying to buy a $500,000 house on the other financing, 20% down. How are you going to make that happen? Right? And that's why I think so many of us are concerned about our kids and our grandkids leaving this state. That's not the American dream. That's why we need Gil back there. Right? Because we need somebody from Orange County who's going to take on President Trump when he wants to eliminate financing and funding for UC Irvine or Chapman or other great institutions down here. And then we have a president who wants to engage in offshore oil drilling. And I thought my whole career challenging Republicans on the State Lands Commission, making sure that they didn't build wells, right? We remember, some of you remember, the oil spill off the coast of Orange County. Yeah. Right, I was down there with Ray Davis when I was working for him in the controller's office, right, and when we built those double hole legislation, right, because we wanted to protect your beautiful coast. We wanted to make sure that we protected the 800 plus miles of bundled coast, right, and that's why we need Gil down there. And then you know about the transportation issues, the good middle class jobs. I see the Teamsters here, that's right, and others. The president wants you to shoulder that responsibility. Historical funding for transportation was 50-50. Federal government 50, local governments 50. We all heard that big pledge and people were excited. He even got middle class voters, some union voters. He said he was going to invest in infrastructure. So he said we're going to invest 1.2 trillion. 1 trillion from us, 200 billion from Washington, D.C. Even the Republicans don't like that. And we can't have a world-class economy. We can't have third-tier schools. We can't have no 5G when Japan, China, the rest of the world that we're going to compete against is moving towards 5G. Because our kids deserve nothing but the best. That's why we're sending Gil. So that's why we understand. And then frankly, the point that we've all made, this is about our morals and this is values.
That's right.
Wait, we have a president who's admitted to abusive conduct about women, right? Who doesn't want Muslims in this country. This is a president who doesn't understand the Constitution. You know why people love this country? Because we have the right to exercise our freedoms in association, in speech, and religion. And this is why you elect Gil, because we take an oath in office. I, and you'll say Gil Cisneros, do solemnly swear. This is what Kevin, Norma, Sharon, and I take. To support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state, well, we take the one state, state of California, against all enemies. And repeat the next words with me if you know it. Foreign and domestic. Right, so when we have somebody, even if he's domestic, and even if he's supposedly the leader of the free world,
That's right.
who is acting in opposition to the Constitution, in opposition
That's right.
to our values.
That's right.
and obligations. Make sure that we elect Jill as our next member of Congress. Are you going to help send a powerful signal in Washington, D.C. that this is our country? That Orange County is to elect a Democratic congressman who's going to represent all our values.
Right.
So nothing stands between you, your soul, your spirit, your heart, your intelligence in taking back this country. And you're going to do this by bringing forward, as I am right now, your next congressman.
I know your busy campaign schedule to come and speak on my behalf, so thank you very much. And let me just say I am so humbled by how many people are here right now today. And you know, I never really thought, you know, when I sat down a year ago, I sat down with, when I announced I was going to run, I got a phone call from someone, Karen Lawson, who's around here somewhere. Over here. Over there. Told me, you know, I've been, I just want to sit down with you for a little bit. Can we go and get lunch? And I said, sure. We sat down and she told me about how she'd been working for the last 25 years to get rid of voice. And I know many of you.
That's right.
It's might have taken 25 years, but we're at that point. Voice is gone. He's retiring because he saw the writing on the wall. That's right. He saw how this district has changed. This is not the